My name is Barbara Sanders. I am an enrolled member of the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe, which is part of the Minnesota Chippewa tribe. I was born in Walker, Minnesota. My mom tells me I was the last baby to be born in that hospital.
My name is Broderick Grubb. Some call me Rudy from back in the day, but I'm also known as Rick. Class of 1973, alumni, and currently serving on the Board of Trustees. I came to Macalester from a small town in Texas, Port Arthur, Texas.
I actually was born in Puerto Rico. Politics dictated the disbanding of the sugar industry in the Caribbean. And so my dad was forced to look northward for employment.
My identity is primarily from my membership in the three affiliated tribes. I'm Mandan and Hidatsa, and the other tribe is Arikara. In our culture, you're a member of your mother's clan, and so I'm a member of the Zitska clan.
It was an expectation to go to a college. I didn't know where at the time. My family had limited financial means. And I had a friend who graduated with me in high school who decided to come to Macalester, and I wanted to come with him, but that didn't happen until much later when I received a letter that a spot opened up and I received, at that time, was an Expanded Education Opportunities Scholarship.
I didn't know I was a part of an EEO program either. I had just applied to these schools, and in getting accepted to Macalester, I had a full scholarship, and I did not know it was because of the Expanded Educational Opportunity Program.
I went into the military after high school. When I came out of the military, I wanted to attain, a college degree if possible. So I started taking night classes at the University of Minnesota. Very nice gentleman named Harry Jensen, who was a Mac grad. And then he, at some point, found out that I was taking night classes, so he asked me if I wanted to go to college full-time. I told him absolutely. So he helped me get a scholarship to Mac, and I think Macalester admitted me and agreed to pay my tuition, but everything else I would have to take care of.
The EEO program helped me to become more self-actualized by not providing all that I needed to be successful. Meant that I need to define myself what I needed to be successful. And I don't say that just like I'm an individual, that together with the other Native American students at the school, that's what we did together and for each other.
This dynamic I kind of described where we were really the minority of minority students, we felt, like we did not fit into the program. But that motivated us to, help get more students to apply, to recruit. And the second year there was more students. And when that happened, we were able to organize. And we identified, some things that we wanted to have, which was like a Native Studies, not a department, but courses. And it was wonderful. It was an opportunity to just talk about things that we never could in college or any school I went to.
The hardest times here, quite candidly, were the same kind of experience that affected all the students. Vietnam was raging. We were all concerned we were going to get drafted.
It was a lonely place for several reasons. One is there were very few poor students here. I think the notion was that everybody here had financial resources. Well, I was one of those that did not. And also there were very few students of color here.
You go into a classroom and everybody figured, well, you're an EEO student, so you got here because of race, not because you were qualified. I never let that affect me, but that toughened me up because as I went further into my business career, that speculation is always there.
To my surprise, there were probably a lot of other people who felt the very same way.
The role that Macalester and the EEO program played in my life was actually to give me the credibility to take the next step in my career. So when I applied to law school, of course, saying that I graduated from Macalester College was a plus. Now, having reconnected with people from the EEO program and other people from my class, I feel I have a broader and more solid connection with Macalester and a deeper understanding of the dynamics of the EEO program.
I think Mac was, it was tolerant of a lot of agendas that were going on amongst the students, even though maybe wasn't really aware. And we also met some really neat professors on campus who were very supportive of us.
And believe me, it was a life-changing incident because it allowed me to come with no debt and leave Macalester with no debt, which was a very wonderful thing to start a career with.
In my life, I would not have been able to go to college, but Macalester, you know, taking a look at me and saying, we'll take a chance on you.
That chance changed my life, and it changed the trajectory of my family's life. Because all my kids, I was able to send each one of them to college that I paid for without need of a scholarship.
Mac is a wonderful school for allowing exploration. And when you're a student applying, you don't really probably appreciate what that really means. But when you, in retrospect, when you look back and you see what you were able to do, you can see just how important that kind of openness is in a learning environment, and where you're not expected to just, you know, like fit into some sort of pigeonhole or whatever, and you can dig deeper.
And so it has been a very solid foundation that helps me move further along in my career.